So we start with Riley North with a gunshot wound. She goes to her car, parked in a sketchy neighborhood full of homeless people, cleans the wound with alcohol, sews it up herself, and tapes it over. Pure savage mode. That's hardcore. Flashback to 5 years earlier, Riley, a loving mom and wife, lives a peaceful life with her daughter Carly. However, they are then interrupted by another student's parent, Peg, who is upset that they parked in her car park. She really overreacts, but they ignore her. Today is Carly's birthday. Riley and her husband Chris want to celebrate with her school friends. But surprise, none of Carly's friends show up because of Peg, who still doesn't accept the parking incident. So, they decide to get pizza and go to the carnival.
Yes, heck yes.
At the same time, Chris's friend Mickey offers him a well-paying job as a driver for a gang. But Chris is smart and hesitates. He finally decides not to take it, but guess what? It's too late. Mickey is planning to rob drug lord Diego Garcia, and when Garcia finds out, he says no, and orders his men to kill Chris because he thinks he's involved. Meanwhile, those who had just finished playing some rides did not notice the presence of a car with 3 men watching their movements. They stopped at an outlet to order mint ice cream, and the nightmare happened. Chris and Carly are shot in front of Riley. It's insane. Riley survives, but suffers a massive head injury. When Riley wakes up, detectives come to her and say, "Hey, Chris was suspected of planning a robbery, but even though they have a voice recording, there is no hard evidence linking Garcia to the crime." Riley remembers the faces of the 3 shooters, and boom, they get caught.
Yes, I'm sure.
But Garcia has some serious power, and he buys his way out. The prosecutor, already in his pocket, discredits Riley's testimony. They paint her as unstable because she's on antidepressants.
Conclude that the state...
The prosecutor finally finds the 3 not guilty. Riley goes crazy and attacks them, but she was quickly subdued by the police. Riley wanted to be taken to a mental hospital, but she ran away immediately. Flash forward, and Moises and Stan find the bodies of the 3 shooters hanging from a Ferris wheel, where Carly's birthday party took place. Not only is Riley back, she's a vengeance machine. She's armed to the teeth, and it's clear, she's out for blood. She tracks down the judge who threw out her case and gets her revenge by saying, "This time, I'm the one who's going to do the judging, on another level, right?"
Oath, Your Honor.
So it turns out that after the trial, Riley robbed a bank for $55,000 and disappeared. Nobody knew where she went, but she traveled around the world, picked up fighting skills, and now she's back in LA, targeting Garcia's cartel. This woman is out of control. Riley had gotten a lot of information about Garcia Place, where they were laundering the money. She wiped out everyone there. Garcia, who is losing shipments and men to Riley's attacks, is furious and puts a price on her head. Meanwhile, the public actually starts to root for her. Her mission against the cartel is seen as legitimate. Detective Inman begins to suspect that she's hiding out in a homeless encampment, since it's been unusually quiet since her return. The next target was Garcias Warehouse. Finally, Riley confronts Garcia and his crew at one of their hideouts. Riley entered the warehouse, but there was no one there. Something seemed wrong, and guess what happened? It's a trap.
Anything?
Guess what? Riley's still alive. She escapes in a stolen car after a massive shootout. She tracks Garcia's crew to his estate. By hijacking Garcia's men's car, Riley made it to Garcia's house and takes out his guards one by one. By the time she finally managed to pull a gun on Garcia, but Garcia's daughter arrived and distracted Riley. Suddenly, the police arrived and they all ran away. Riley ran to Peg's house and treated his wound. Peg is the parent of his daughter's friend who was once annoying. Because of her, the beginning of all these problems, it turns out that she is still annoying, so Riley teaches her a lesson. The cops determined that the house belonged to Garcia, and Moises was aware of the fact that Stanley had never coordinated with the narcotics department. Wow, very suspicious. Meantime, Stanley and Inman are in a homeless area and find Riley hidden in a black van loaded with guns. Inman said Garcia had a cop on the inside. Suddenly, Stanley shoots Inman. Wow, it turns out that Stanley is Garcia's man on the inside. After getting rid of his gun, Stanley got in touch with Garcia and told him where Riley was hiding, and then Garcia and all of his men went straight to the location. Riley, wounded and barely hanging on, but still fueled by memories of her daughter, suddenly realized and the enemy was already hunting her. Riley immediately took action against them. Suddenly, Riley heard the sound of a cell phone ringing. It turned out to be the body of an FBI agent in the trash can. Riley grabbed the phone and made a live broadcast, and the police immediately rushed to the scene. Garcia was so cunning that he held a child hostage to get Riley to come out of hiding. Riley was forced to surrender.
I'm coming. Let her go.
Poor Riley. She was badly beaten by Garcia. Turns out Riley is very smart, deliberately buying time until the police arrived. Thought he was betrayed. Garcia shot and killed Stanley. Yeah, feel that, moron. When Garcia ran off, Riley beat the shit out of him. Riley pointed his gun at Garcia, and the police prevented her from shooting Garcia, but Riley's main goal was Garcia's death. Riley was shot by the police, but disappeared. Detective Moses knew where Riley was going. She went to feed her daughter and husband, but with serious injuries, she immediately collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. There was a lot of news about Riley on TV. People considered him a hero, but in the eyes of the law, it was different. Riley will be punished for his actions, but Detective Moses praised Riley. He had destroyed the biggest drug mafia and exposed corrupt police, and surprisingly, he gave Riley a pass. The end of the film. What do you think of Riley? Is she doing the right thing or not? But the truth is, you don't mess with a mother's love, especially a mother who wants justice. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around for this recap. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more awesome movie breakdowns, and hit the bell for more epic movie breakdowns. Let me know what your favorite movie was in the comments. See you next recap.